Hello, today we are doing a tutorial on how to use the Saffron semi-micro analytical balance. This instrument has a readability of 10 to the power minus 5 grams. So this is the instrument. Its intended use is to determine the weighing value of loads in a laboratory environment. So its intended application is only for non-automatic weighing. All of the weighed material should be done manually and should be carefully placed in the center of the pan. So I'm going to list out a few of the inappropriate uses that we should be aware of. Basically, it should not be used as a dynamic weighing instrument. Even if small quantities of weighed material are added or removed, the reading should only be taken after stabilization. No magnetic materials should be placed on the weighing pan, as this can cause damage to the measuring system of the instrument. The third one is to avoid any impact shock or overloading. Basically, any weight that's placed on the pan should be placed there carefully. We'll now show and explain the different ports of the instrument. The first port is the power port or the DC port. This is used as a power supply. Second one is the COM2 port. This one is used to connect additional displays to the instrument. The COM1 port is used to connect a printer. The USB 2 port is used to connect the computer display. And the USB 1 port is used to connect a computer keyboard. These are only used in cases where a desktop is being used. We'll now explain the different buttons available on the control panel. The first one is the on and off button. This enables switching on and off of the balances display. It's currently off. The second one is the database button. It provides access to all the data stored in the database. This is like user product tearing. Third one is the function button. The function button allows you to change the settings of the device. We also have the zero button. The zero button helps zero the balances indication. So if a reading is showing 0.0001 and you want it to come back to zero for a stable reading, you click it. The next button is the print or enter button. When a printer is connected to the device, this button can be used to execute the print command. It's also used as an enter button while using the other controls. We then have the function buttons. This is used to navigate around the menu and different functions. The units button can help you change the units of whatever you're measuring. We also have the tear button. This is to tear the balances indication. The setup button, this is the function button for entering the main menu of the balance. Cal is used for the calibration process, and we'll demonstrate this in the video itself. And we also have mode. Mode is for selecting the balances working mode. Okay. The device has three glass panels that can be opened as access to the weighing balance itself. So as you can see, these three can be opened to provide access to place the sample in the center. So only one of them should be opened at a time to place the sample in the center, and the front and back glass panels are fixed and should not be tampered with. Okay, we'll now explain the different aspects of the calibration process. There are different types of calibration. There's internal, external, and user calibration. So the automatic adjustment process is carried out by the instrument itself when it's turned on, and this takes about a minute or two. We'll explain the internal adjustment process, which should be carried out every time you turn on the machine. So once you turn on the instrument, you press the calibration button. The process takes up to 2 to 5 minutes, and during the adjustment process, do not load the weighing pan with any load. The message "do not turn off the calibrator" will appear on the display panel at the bottom. Once the adjustment process is completed, the balance saves the result in the memory. During the adjustment process, do not load the weighing pan with any load. This should only be conducted in a stable environment with no vibrations. Okay, so now we'll show you the process for logging in. You can log into two different users. The first one is user. Under user, the user has access to the information preview in the database and can also define the universal variables. The second one is advanced. Advanced provides access to editing the parameters such as reading, working modes, communication, devices, except for date and time. The third one is admin. Admin provides access to all the user parameters, functions, and editing the databases. In order to change any settings that you require, it is necessary to log into the admin user. We'll now show you the procedure to log into the admin user. First, we go to the database. As you can see, it says user here. We enter the user option. Here you have none and admin. So we'll select admin and enter. Now there's a requirement for a password. The password has been provided in the manual as 1111 and each digit has to be entered manually. So this is the first digit 1. We now go to the next one. 1. So once the first 4 digits have been entered as 1, we click the enter button. Now as you can see, there's a log pictogram on the top right, and this depicts that the admin user has been logged into. This login procedure is not required for general use of the instrument. It's only required in cases where you have to store values in the database. Since this device has limited storage, we don't recommend storing values in the database. The second use is if you have to change the settings of the device. This may be auto tearing or language change, etc. In any other case, we don't recommend logging in. We'll now show you the logout procedure. So similar to the login procedure, we go to database and select, once you see user, we click enter. Here, last time we selected admin to log in, but in order to log out, when you see the none option on the screen, you click enter. As you can see, the lock symbol has disappeared, and this means that you have been logged out. Now we'll show you the different settings that can be changed. In order to change these settings, you need to be logged in as admin, but we'll just show you where it's available. So first we go to setup. So as you can see, the first one is calibration or adjustment. Here you can access the internal calibration, external calibration, user calibration, etc. We then have the working mode or operation mode. This provides access to the accessibility, the weighing, the counting pieces, the check weighing, dosing, etc. This is not required for the general use. We then have communication. This is to access the parameters that you've connected to COM1 port, COM2 port, and for Wi-Fi. Fourth one is the devices. These are for any external or peripheral devices that you've connected to the instrument, such as the computer, the transmitter, the printer, or a barcode reader. You can also connect an additional display or extra buttons. The fifth one is for printout. Under this you have settings about the calibration report. You can print the header, the footer, and other variables and readings. You have other. Under other, the language can be changed. You also can change the backlight, the date, the date and time format, etc. In order to access any of the settings under each of these buttons, you have to press the enter button. The next one is info. This is for general information regarding the device. You have a balance ID, a scale type, a program, the temperature, and the setup printout. We also have units. This device provides a lot of units like grams, milligrams, etc. So to change these units, you click the units button. In order to ensure that the balance has precise calculations, there's an auto-zero software or parameter that's been introduced. This allows this control and correction of the zero indication on the machine. So when the function auto-zero is enabled, it compares the balance indications at the declared time interval on condition that the weighing pan is unloaded and the display indication is close to zero. This ensures accurate readings can be taken. We'll now show you how to make sure that the auto-zero function is on. So under setup, the So in order to make any of these changes, you need to be logged in. As you can see, the lock symbol is visible, which means we are logged into admin. So under P2, we go to working mode and click enter. Here it shows accessibility. We need to be in weighing. Click enter. Under the reading, we click enter. As you can see, it says auto zero, yes. That means the auto zero function is currently on. In order to change that, you can click the enter button and it will go back to no. The readings shuttle between yes and no, so clicking enter will only change the reading, switch off or on the function. So in order to access the different functions and settings, you require these codes and to know where each function is. You can use the manual. The manual, as visible, has the details of where each function is available and how to go about it. Okay, so now we'll show you a sample of how to weigh Okay, so now we'll show you a sample. We'll now show you a sample of a pencil lead being weighed. So before you weigh it, you're supposed to click on the auto tearing function. This makes sure that this is not auto tearing but the manual tearing function. This is to make sure that the value is as close to 0 as possible before weighing the sample. So we click, this is the tearing button. Now it's showing an error because we're currently in an unstable environment and the vibrations affect the instrument since it's very sensitive. It's meant actually for a laboratory environment where there are no disturbances. Just for the procedure, we'll now demonstrate a pencil lead being weighed. The specimen must be carefully placed on the weighing balance. And the door must be closed before the reading is taken to ensure that there are no vibrations and external factors affecting the measurement. We should wait for a few seconds or minutes. It takes a few seconds for the value to stabilize, and this is visible when a symbol will appear. Yeah, as you can see, the stabilization symbol has appeared. That means this is the stable value. So the weight of the single pencil lead that we have put in is 0.04057 grams. Once the samples have been weighed and you're done using the machine, please remember to ensure that you've logged out. For that, the lock symbol will disappear, and only then do you switch off the instrument. As you can see, I've now logged out and I can safely turn off the instrument.